This is the biggest Barnes & Noble I've ever been to. What? I am so amazed. I'm just like, I am so happy. I feel like I'm a kid at a candy store. I don't even know where to go first. This is my happy space. Like, for real, this is my happy place. I see so many books that I want to buy, and I'm like, I shouldn't buy all of them. I've been hearing good things about this book. Okay, I probably should have come in here with a plan. I haven't eaten breakfast yet and I need like some sort of caffeine. So I'm gonna go to Starbucks in here and then like eat, get a coffee, and then explore. Yikes. It's literally storming. It's the perfect weather for reading. Oh my god, let's talk. I'm like so exhausted, like tired. First of all, it is freezing in there and it was storming outside, as you guys saw, right? I was like, good thing I was already inside, you know? My phone died. I need my GPS to go everywhere, so I'm like letting my phone charge. While I just sit here and wait, let's talk about the books that I got. I don't think y'all are ready. A lot of these books were the books that I talked about in my mid-year book tag, so if you haven't watched that video, like go watch that. One of the questions that I answered in that book tag was like, what are your anticipated reads? I got at least 2 of them. This book is like a continuation of the other book that I got. So the first book we'll talk about is this one. I got The Housemaid's Secrets. This is the second book of the Housemaid trilogy or like series. The third book just came out. I didn't think that I was gonna get the second book because I was like, it just seems like obvious of what this book is about, but I don't think I don't think it's about what I think it's about. You know what I'm saying? Based on what I was reading with the synopsis, I was like, this sounds like a whole different like story. I don't really know. So the first book was about Millie and how she was working at the Nina Winchester's house. She was like fresh out of prison, and so because she was like out of prison, she couldn't get a job. She was living in her car, and so she like found an ad to be a housemaid at one of this like really rich family's house. But when she got there, she learned so many things about, girl, that the plot twist in that book caught me about the throat. Like, I was not ready for that plot twist. Like, I thought it was one way, and then it was like a whole different thing. That really caught me by surprise. I literally was like, what? I was very surprised. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I literally was like, and like one thing I love about Freida McFadden's books is like they're so quick and easy to read. Like, it's pretty short. The font is big and like the chapters are short. So like you can end up reading this book pretty quickly. And like it's so thrilling and captivating that you want to keep reading. So you end up finishing the book so fast. But for me, I don't know what it was, but like with The Housemaid, it took me like 2 or 3 tries to get through it. Mostly because I thought that it was going to be predictable. As I was reading the first part, like there are like several parts of the book. Part 1 of the book was so predictable to me that I was like, okay, I'm stop reading this. I already knew what was gonna happen, but girl, I had to keep reading. Once I got through that hump, I was like, no. If you know, you know. Like, if you know, leave a comment below. I got the second book. I want to finish the whole series because I have no idea like what the third book is about. I think the third book is called The Housemaid's Watching or something like that, and like I was like, what? So I don't know. Of course, in order for me to read the third book, I gotta read this one. So here we are. Let me turn my AC back on because like it's Louisiana and it's hot, you know. The other book I got was this one, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. It was a subscriber on YouTube who recommended Kennedy Ryan to me. Like, I was asking about romance authors. I was like, who's your favorite romance author? And then someone said like Kennedy Ryan, and I was like, I hadn't heard about any books by her. So then I looked her up on Goodreads, and I was like, girl, most of her books have like almost 5 stars, which is really hard to do on Goodreads. Like, even if it's like a really, really good book, they don't tend to always have 5 stars. So I was like, okay, I was interested immediately. So I picked up this one. This is actually the first book of a series, I think. First of all, I love this cover. It is just giving like Queen Bee Diva. Low-key, that's my vibe. So it seems like, based on what the synopsis is saying, this book is about Yasmin and Josiah, and they were married, but it seems like they got a divorce because it says love alone couldn't save their marriage, which I was like, that is really interesting, you know? Yasmin and Josiah were like co-parenting. They have a thriving business together, which I was like, they're co-parenting 2 kids and they have a thriving business together. And it says, yet like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's all good until old wounds reopen, as they do with exes, you know? Is it too late for them to find love forever? Or could they even be better the second time around? Imagine you were married to somebody, y'all have 2 kids and a business together, y'all end up getting divorced, and then y'all still have to work together, you're still co-parenting together, obviously, and then one kiss leads to another kiss, but then old wounds start reopening, and it's just like, what? Like, and I kind of read like the prologue or like the first chapter, and I was already like, I can tell I'm gonna like her writing. This is the first book I've ever read by this author, so I have no idea, like, I have no thoughts. I'm just going in with it blind, but I do have high hopes. Super, super excited about this one. Thank you guys for recommending authors to me. One thing I love about YouTube is like YouTube is the reason why I am reading so many books and why I'm finding so many authors that I would not have found otherwise. Did y'all see how big that Barnes & Noble was? Like, I literally walked in, mouth dropped. I was like I saw on Yelp that it had 2 stories, but like it's nothing compared to like seeing it in person. Like I walked in, I literally was like, and it was so obvious that I'm not like a local. That's so cool. That's so cool. This next book was a highly anticipated read for like so many people that I know. This one. A novel love story by Ashley Poston. She has easily become one of my favorite authors of all time. If I'm gonna read more than one book by you, I like you. You know, this is my 3rd novel that I have by her, and for me that's a lot. There are some like fantasy and whimsical aspects of her writing, and I just love that, how she takes like an everyday story and then put like a whimsical spin on it to where you're in a whole different world within that world, if that makes sense. If you've read her books, you probably know what I'm talking about. So a novel love story. I know I talked about this book in my mid-year book tag. So first of all, I like how it feels. It's like very like flimsy but like sturdy. Like, I don't know, I just like a good, I don't know, it's getting flimsy. So Eileen was on her way to like her annual book club retreat, but then on her way to the retreat, her car breaks down kind of in the middle of nowhere, and she ends up like stuck in this like time, and she feels like she's like right in the middle of a story. And it was like, yeah, because she is in the middle of a story. And it was like, this place cannot be real, but she's here. So this town that she like got stopped in was from one of her favorite romance novels. So like, she's in the town of one of the towns of her favorite books. I love that. I just love that, like, you know, yeah. This town feels like home. It's like her perfect location. It's like her perfect place. But something is not right. So the author who wrote about this town didn't finish the story. And so the town is kind of like frozen in place where the author left off with the story. And I'm like, okay, tell me more, right? Elsie is like, this is why I must be here, to help bring the town to its storybook ending. Except there is a character whom she can't place. This is a grumpy bookstore owner with mint green eyes and an irritatingly sexy mouth and impeccable taste in novels. And he does not want her finishing the book. I wonder what happens when she finishes the book. Will she finish the book and like she go on to the next thing? Like, what happens if she doesn't finish the book? Like, will she just be stuck in that town that is like kind of frozen in place based on what the last author did? Is it good that the story ended where it ended, or like, does it need to end? You know what I'm saying? Does it need to have closure? And it said this is a problem because Elsie is beginning to think the town's happily ever after just might be intertwined with her own happily ever after. So I'm super curious as to what is gonna happen with this story. What's gonna happen? This is one of my highly anticipated reads by Ashley Poston. Like, I really want to start reading this book like right now, but I'm already reading a really good book too, so I have to wait. Okay, let's keep going. The other book I got was this one. I'm pretty sure this book was also in my highly anticipated reads for the year. This is called Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I have been seeing so many mixed reviews about it. It's not that they don't like it, they just think it's kind of weird, or like their thoughts are like inconclusive type. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna like it because it's giving like fantasy plus romance and like romantasy, and I am a sucker for romantasy, but I actually don't know because I don't really know. Most of Ali Hazelwood's book, in my opinion, are like STEM based, like science. It's always like a doctor or a scientist or someone who is in the science field meets a person, fall in love, whatever. It's like always kind of like that kind of plot. But this, it just seems like a whole different vibe. Like, it just seems like it's not about science at all. It's basically about a vampire and a werewolf, and her name is Misery. Like, what kind of name is that? She's the daughter of a powerful vampire councilman. She's an outcast. But I'm like, why? So it says at first she was living anonymously among the humans, but now that's over. That's done. She has been called to uphold an alliance between the vampires and the werewolves, but they're mortal enemies, okay? It says werewolves or wares are ruthless, unpredictable, and their alpha is no exception. He rules his pack with absolute authority, but not without justice or feelings. So he's like an alpha male, but he also is like, he understands and has feelings, apparently, I guess. But he tracks Misery's every movement because he doesn't trust her. And it says if only he knew how right he was in not trusting her. He shouldn't be trusting her. She has her own agenda, okay? It literally just said that. Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience. These reasons have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about, which I'm like, what is that? It doesn't even say what that is, but that's what we need to find out. And she is willing to do whatever it takes to get back what's hers. So I'm kind of like, what is she trying to get back? She agreed to marry one of their mortal enemies to kind of have like peace between the vampires and the wearers, but also she has her own reasons for agreeing to this marriage. So anyway, this is my second novel by Ali Hazelwood. We'll see how this comes out. We'll see what's up. Like, we'll see. I have no thoughts going into it. Have you read this book? If you've read it, leave a comment below and let me know, did you like it, or like what are your thoughts on that? So I'm on the last book. So Legendborn, this girl named Bree, her mother dies in an accident. She's like a 16-year-old high school student. She goes to this like residential high school program at UNC. for like bright high schoolers or whatever. It's like the perfect escape because she doesn't want to be in her childhood home. She doesn't want to be there, whatever. So like she goes to this school, and her first night of going to the school, she witnesses a magical attack. A flying demon was feeding on human energies, and so she like saw this happen, and there's like a secret society called Legendborn who are hunting down these demons, right? This person attempts to wipe her memory of what she saw, but like it failed. Merlin's failure reveals her own unique magic, which I'm like, okay, cool. And a buried memory with a hidden connection. The night her mother died, another Merlin was at the hospital. What? Now that Bree knows there's more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do whatever it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infiltrating the Legendborn as one of their initiates. So she's gonna try to pretend like she's one of them to find out really what happened to her mother, because it seems like a Merlin was at the hospital the night her mother died. The same kind of thing that was trying to wipe her own memory of what she saw that night. I'm like, whoa. Anyway, she recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn. He exiled himself with his own grudge against the group. And their reluctant partnership pulls them deeper into the society's secrets and closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveals themselves as the descendants of King Arthur's knights and explain that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. Whoa! I'm like, who's fighting who and like why, you know? This sounds so good. So basically, summer romance is about this girl named Allie, who is a professional organizer. Her mom died 2 years ago, and then her husband divorced her and left her. So now she's a newly single mom, and she's just kind of like depressed. She hasn't been wearing pants in a long time because she's just like a mess, right? Even though she's a professional organizer. So it's like the opposite of what she represents, literally. So anyway, I guess one day she's out for a walk, and then her dog pees on this man, what's his name, Ethan, and like kind of like claims him. And then from that point on, it looks like Ethan likes what he sees in Allie. Like her dog pees on him, and then he notices her, and then he like likes her, you know what I'm saying? Which is very cool, very interesting. So now that Allie is a single mother, the last thing she needs is a man to add to her life of like problems, right? But she said, but nothing's wrong with like a little summer romance, like a little quick love story, whatever. So that's kind of what's happening in this book. So yeah, these are some of the most highly anticipated reads I've ever had. I was so freaking happy today just to go to Barnes & Noble. I told my whole, I was like, bye y'all, I'm going to the bookstore. And they were like, all right. Like they didn't even want to try to come with me, you know? It is such a me thing, you know? I love going to the bookstore. And I think it's because me and my brother like were raised at the library. My mom used to always bring us to the library. But anyway, I decided to become a booktuber in October because I was just like buying a lot of books and not talking about them. And I kind of wasn't. Like I wasn't like dedicating my YouTube videos for books, but then I started to do so, and now I feel like I'm in too deep, you know? Like now I feel like I'm one of the masses of like booktubers, and I'm so excited. Maybe I should do a newbie book tag. What do you guys think? Am I like not that new? I don't know. I feel like I'm new enough. I haven't been doing this for a year yet. Anyway, if you guys have read any of these books that I talked about, please let me know your thoughts on them. What did you guys think of these books? Have you read them? Are any of these books your highly anticipated reads? Like I know a lot of people wanted to read Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. Did you want to read that one too? I don't know. So if you're curious in what I think of these books, then be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the reading vlogs and don't miss the wrap-ups where I talk about all the books that I read each month. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and joining me. I had so much fun. I hope you guys did too while watching it. Maybe you were living vicariously through me. I'm totally okay with that. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.